Act on. To take action based on advice or information. Researchers should act on new findings to develop effective medical treatments. Students should act on their teachers' advice to improve their academic performance. Authorities should act on reports of corruption to ensure transparency in governance. Agree on. To have the same opinion about something. Experts need to agree on the best approach to reduce global poverty effectively. The two countries finally agreed on a trade deal after long diplomatic discussions. The board of directors must agree on the financial plan before its implementation. Aim at. To direct effort or focus toward something. The reforms aim at minimizing economic disparities between urban and rural regions. The new law aims at improving the safety standards for public transportation systems. Scientists aim at discovering sustainable energy alternatives to combat climate change. Account for. To explain or justify something. Environmental changes account for shifts in the migration patterns of various species. Researchers must account for external variables when analyzing experimental data. Differences in lifestyle habits account for varying health outcomes among individuals. Add up. Make sense, calculate a total. The financial reports do not add up, indicating potential miscalculations or fraud. His inconsistent statements simply do not add up, raising doubts about his credibility. Small daily expenses quickly add up, making budgeting essential for financial stability. Ask out. Invite someone on a date. He finally gathered the courage to ask out his classmate, after months of hesitation. It takes confidence to ask out someone, and handle rejection gracefully if necessary. She asked out her co-worker, hoping their friendship could turn into something more. Ask around. Ask multiple people for information. Tourists often ask around to find the best local restaurants and cultural attractions. He asked around to gather information about the most reputable law firms nearby. Before making a purchase, it is wise to ask around for recommendations and reviews. Back up. Support someone or something. The manager backed up her employee's decision, reinforcing trust and leadership. Always back up your work before making any changes to avoid losing information. Experts recommend backing up your files to cloud storage for easy access anywhere. blow up. Explode or become very angry. The scientist warned that minor technical failures could blow up the entire project. Failure to follow safety protocols could cause the laboratory experiment to blow up. Environmental activists fear that deforestation will blow up into an irreversible crisis. Break down. Stop working, lose control emotionally. They decided to break down the proposal into smaller, more manageable tasks. The professor asked us to break down the complex theory into simpler concepts. Let's break down the issue to understand all contributing factors more effectively. Break in. Enter forcibly, wear something new. Burglars managed to break in despite the newly installed security system at home. The security system was installed to prevent criminals from trying to break in at night. He struggled to break in his stiff leather jacket, making it more comfortable over time. Break up. End a relationship, separate into pieces. The strong winds and currents caused the ice to break up into smaller floating pieces. They decided to break up since their long-distance relationship was not working well. The company announced plans to break up its divisions and form independent entities. Bring up. Mention a topic or raise a child. The politician refused to bring up the corruption scandal during his press conference. The journalist decided to bring up the candidate's previous scandals in the interview. Parents should bring up their children with strong moral values and a good education. Brush up on. Refresh knowledge or skills. She decided to brush up on her language skills before traveling abroad for business. Before the exam, she decided to brush up on the key concepts from previous lectures. The students must brush up on their vocabulary to perform well in the upcoming test. Burn out. Become exhausted or overworked. Many employees burn out due to excessive workload and lack of work-life balance. The artist burned out after creating numerous masterpieces under intense pressure. If you work too hard without rest, you will eventually burn out and lose productivity. Butter up. Flatter someone for personal gain. He tried to butter up his supervisor with compliments to secure the promotion. It's important to focus on your achievements, not just butter up others for favors. Employees often butter up their bosses when seeking promotions or special favors. Call off. Cancel an event or meeting. The negotiations were unsuccessful, forcing both parties to call off the agreement. The government had to call off the construction project due to budget constraints. The scientist called off the experiment after noticing critical errors in the procedure. Carry on. Continue doing something persistently. The team carried on working, determined to finish the task before the deadline. We must carry on working even when faced with unexpected difficulties or delays. It is essential to carry on with the experiment despite initial setbacks in the process. Catch up. Reach the same level as others. The team practiced rigorously to catch up after their slow start in the tournament. It's important to catch up with recent research developments in your academic field. The team met to catch up on the project's progress and address outstanding issues. Check out. Leave a hotel or examine something. The professor advised the students to check out recent publications on the subject. It is essential to check out the references section to find relevant academic sources. Before traveling abroad, check out visa requirements to avoid unexpected problems. Chip in. Contribute money or effort. All team members chipped in ideas to improve the company's marketing strategy. The university chipped in some resources to help students with financial difficulties. The committee members chipped in their time and resources to host the conference. Come across. Find unexpectedly, seem a certain way. While reading, I came across an interesting study on environmental sustainability. Students sometimes come across challenging questions that require deeper analysis. I came across an insightful article that improved my understanding of climate change. Come down with. Get sick with an illness. After the conference, several attendees came down with a cold due to the weather. She came down with a severe cold right before her important presentation at work. The flu season caused many of the students to come down with illness during exams. Come up. Be mentioned or arise unexpectedly. A new challenge came up during the university's environmental research project. A new opportunity came up that could potentially benefit the academic community. A funding opportunity came up for researchers studying renewable energy solutions. Count on. Rely on someone or something. The team is counting on their leader to guide them through the upcoming challenges. Researchers are counting on their findings to help shape future policies on healthcare. The community is counting on the government to provide disaster relief after the storm. Cut back on. Reduce spending or consumption. We need to cut back on waste by recycling more and reducing packaging materials. Scientists suggest cutting back on fossil fuel consumption to combat climate change. Researchers must cut back on unnecessary variables when conducting a focused study. Cut off. Stop suddenly, disconnect something. The teacher warned the students not to cut off the discussion before the conclusion. To ensure data security, they decided to cut off access to the server for maintenance. The network issues cut off the internet connection during the critical business meeting. Deal with. Handle a situation or problem. He learned to deal with academic pressure through effective time management. Scientists deal with ethical concerns in medical research involving human subjects. Researchers must deal with unexpected challenges during complex scientific studies. Do away with. Eliminate or abolish something. Many organizations are trying to do away with rigid hierarchies to foster innovation. Governments must do away with policies that hinder progress and economic growth. Many companies aim to do away with unnecessary bureaucracy to improve efficiency. Do up. Fasten, renovate, or improve. Architects plan to do up historic buildings while preserving their original structures. Conservationists aim to do up forests damaged by deforestation and illegal logging. Researchers propose to do up outdated laboratories to enhance scientific innovation. Dress up. Wear formal or fancy clothing. He always likes to dress up for business meetings to create a professional impression. We asked the children to dress up as their favorite storybook characters for Halloween. It's important to dress up appropriately for a job interview to make a good impression. Drop off. Deliver something or fall asleep. He promised to drop off the supplies for the community event before lunch hour. Demand for fossil fuels will eventually drop off as renewable energy gains popularity. I will drop off the documents at the office early tomorrow morning before my meeting. Drop out. Quit a school or program. Some students drop out due to lack of motivation or poor academic performance. If you drop out, you might lose valuable opportunities that could help your career. Despite wanting to drop out, he stayed in school with encouragement from his family. End up. Eventually reach a certain situation. Many people prefer to eat out at restaurants for special occasions or celebrations. Many small businesses end up closing due to high operational costs and competition. Prolonged conflicts can end up weakening national economies and displacing millions. Eat out. Dine at a restaurant. She tried to keep everything together, but her life seemed to fall apart eventually. The country's economy began to fall apart due to political instability and corruption. If you don't manage your time properly, your study schedule might fall apart quickly. Embark on. Begin a journey or new activity. Students should embark on research projects to gain valuable analytical skills. Scientists embark on innovative studies to develop effective medical treatments. Young professionals embark on international careers to gain diverse experiences. Engage in. Take part in or become involved in something. Governments must engage in diplomatic efforts to resolve international conflicts. Universities encourage students to engage in research to enhance their knowledge. Educators must engage in professional development to enhance their teaching skills. Evolve from. Develop gradually from something. Democratic systems evolved from historical struggles for political representation. Business strategies evolve from changing consumer preferences and market trends. Contemporary education systems evolved from traditional teaching methodologies. Fall for. Be deceived, develop romantic feelings. Many people fall for scams online because they are unaware of the risks involved. Don't fall for the misleading advertisements that claim instant weight loss solutions. Many students fall for the misconception that a degree guarantees a high-paying job. Fall apart. Break into pieces or become unstable. The political system will fall apart if public trust in government continues to decline. The country's economy began to fall apart due to political instability and corruption. If you don't manage your time properly, your study schedule might fall apart quickly. Fill in. Complete a form or substitute for someone. The student was asked to fill in a questionnaire about their learning experience. Please fill in the application form and make sure all required fields are completed. To complete the survey, you need to fill in your personal contact details accurately. Find out. Discover information or a fact. It is essential to find out which skills are most in demand in today's job market. You should find out the details before making any decisions regarding the job offer. The researchers were able to find out the root causes of the issue through surveys. Follow up. Check on something previously discussed. The doctor will follow up with the patient after the procedure to monitor recovery. After the interview, he decided to follow up with a thank you note to the employer. You should follow up with your professor if you have not received feedback on time. Get along. Have a good relationship. Learning to get along with difficult people enhances social and emotional intelligence. Countries that get along economically often experience mutual growth and prosperity. Despite their differences, the two colleagues get along well and collaborate effectively. Get by. Manage to survive or cope. They managed to get by with temporary jobs until finding permanent employment. He managed to get by with minimal resources, despite the challenging circumstances. It's difficult to get by without proper qualifications in today's competitive job market. Get over. Recover from an illness or a setback. It took her months to get over the disappointment of failing the scholarship exam. They couldn't get over the impact of the devastating earthquake on the community. The team worked hard to get over their defeat and prepare for the next competition. Give up. Stop trying or quit something. Athletes who give up after minor failures often miss opportunities for major progress. Don't give up just because things seem difficult. Persistence leads to eventual success. She didn't give up, and eventually, her efforts led to academic recognition and success. Go over. Review or examine something carefully. The lawyer needed to go over the contract carefully before signing the agreement. Before submitting the paper, I had to go over my research and conclusions carefully. Teachers often go over the main points of the lecture to ensure students understand. Grow up. Mature or become an adult. It is essential for kids to grow up with strong moral values and empathy for others. Those who grow up in poverty often face challenges in accessing quality education. People who grow up in urban areas experience different lifestyles than rural residents. Give in. Surrender or stop resisting. The company decided to give in to employee demands and increase their salaries. It's crucial not to give in to external pressures when making important life decisions. Despite her strong arguments, she had to give in and accept the proposal reluctantly. Go on. Continue happening or speaking. The professor encouraged students to go on with their research despite challenges. The professor asked the students to go on with their independent research projects. His lecture went on for hours, covering various aspects of climate change and policy. Go off. Explode or stop functioning. The milk went off because it wasn't refrigerated properly after being purchased. The meeting went off smoothly, with all issues discussed and resolved effectively. The fire alarm went off suddenly, causing everyone to evacuate the building quickly. Hand in. Submit something, like homework. It is essential to hand in properly formatted assignments for academic evaluation. Researchers should hand in their proposals early to secure funding opportunities. She reminded me to hand in my completed form before the registration period ends. Hang out. Delay something, rob a place. They decided to hang out at a local restaurant after the business meeting finished. It's common for people to hang out in coffee shops while working on their laptops. During weekends, we usually hang out at the park for some fresh air and relaxation. Hold on. Wait or grasp something tightly. The speaker asked the audience to hold on while technical issues were resolved. The technician asked me to hold on while he resolved the issue with the system. Investors must hold on to their assets during economic downturns to avoid losses. Hold up. Delay something, rob a place. The economic downturn held up several infrastructure projects across the country. A misunderstanding at the bank caused a hold-up in processing my loan application. The group's progress was held up by disagreements on how to proceed with the plan. Iron out. Resolve issues or disagreements. Additional meetings are required to iron out issues in the contractual agreement. The supervisor held a meeting to iron out concerns regarding workplace efficiency. Researchers must iron out inconsistencies before publishing their scientific findings. Insist on. To demand or emphasize something firmly. Educators insist on regular assessments to evaluate students' academic progress. Scientists insist on conducting thorough research before drawing any conclusions. Health experts insist on the importance of regular exercise for overall well-being. Indulge in. To allow oneself to enjoy something, often excessively. People should avoid indulging in unhealthy eating habits to maintain good health. Tourists often indulge in cultural experiences to gain deeper insights into traditions. Academics sometimes indulge in theoretical debates that lack practical applications. Incline toward. To lean or move slightly in a direction or belief. The data inclines toward a positive correlation between diet and cognitive function. Many consumers incline toward sustainable products due to environmental concerns. Historical evidence inclines toward the notion that innovation drives societal progress. Keep on. Continue doing something. It is essential to keep on practicing your language skills for improvement over time. It is important to keep on revising your essay to ensure it meets academic standards. Researchers should keep on testing their hypotheses until they gather sufficient data. Kick off. Start something, especially an event. The university will kick off its research program with an international conference. The government decided to kick off economic reforms to boost employment rates. The company will kick off an innovation initiative to improve product development. Knock out. Render unconscious or impress greatly. The boxer managed to knock out his opponent in the third round of the fight. The storm knocked out several buildings, causing extensive damage to the area. The scientist managed to knock out unnecessary data from his research findings. Lay off. Dismiss someone from a job. The government must prevent businesses from needing to lay off their workers. Economic downturns often force companies to lay off their temporary staff first. The management decided to lay off some employees to cut operational expenses. Leave out. Exclude something or someone. The analyst decided to leave out minor variables affecting the survey's results. Some participants felt excluded when organizers chose to leave out their ideas. The editor decided to leave out irrelevant information from the research paper. Let down. Disappoint someone or something. The teacher's lack of support let down students who were struggling in the class. The company's poor performance this quarter really let down its loyal customers. When the project deadline was missed, it let down everyone who contributed to it. Look after. Take care of someone or something. Nurses look after patients by ensuring they receive proper medical attention. The organization looks after abandoned animals by providing shelter and care. Authorities must look after the environment to prevent ecological degradation. Look forward to. Be excited about something coming. We look forward to your positive response regarding our proposal for the event. I look forward to attending the conference and learning new research techniques. Researchers look forward to the results of the upcoming clinical trials for vaccines. Look out. Be careful or watch for danger. Investors must look out for market fluctuations before making financial decisions. Students should look out for scholarship opportunities to support their education. Scientists must look out for potential errors when conducting complex experiments. Look up. Search for information or improve. Scholars often look up various references to enhance the credibility of their work. You should look up the meaning of unfamiliar words while reading academic texts. Researchers look up previous studies to ensure they don't repeat past experiments. Make up. Invent a story, reconcile differences. The professor encouraged us to make up our own research topics for the paper. The committee had to make up its decision based on the limited evidence presented. You should make up your mind quickly regarding the topic you want to write about. Mix up. Confuse two or more things. The researchers accidentally mix up the variables, leading to inaccurate conclusions. Students often mix up similar terms, which can lead to misunderstandings in essays. It's easy to mix up conflicting viewpoints when analyzing complex academic concepts. Mess up. To make a mistake or ruin something. Inaccurate data input can mess up statistical analyses and lead to false conclusions. Inadequate preparation can mess up one's performance in high-stakes examinations. Lack of proper training can mess up an employee's ability to perform tasks effectively. Pass out. Faint or distribute something. After the long presentation, many attendees began to pass out from exhaustion. The heat in the room caused a few participants to pass out during the conference. You might pass out from dehydration if you don't drink enough water during exercise. Pay off. To finish repaying a debt or to yield good results. Consistent effort in studying will eventually pay off with high academic achievements. Extensive research and preparation pay off when presenting arguments convincingly. Maintaining ethical business practices pays off by building consumer trust and loyalty. Pick up. Lift something, learn quickly. Advanced sensors can pick up small variations in temperature and humidity levels. You should pick up the relevant academic articles to enhance your literature review. Students can pick up new skills by engaging in internships and real-world experiences. Point out. Indicate or draw attention to something. It's critical to point out the limitations of your study to maintain academic integrity. It's important to point out the strengths and weaknesses of your argument in essays. In the meeting, the manager pointed out the issues with the team's project proposal. Put up with. Tolerate something unpleasant. Citizens should not have to put up with poor healthcare and education systems. Employees frequently put up with workplace stress to maintain financial stability. People should not put up with discrimination in any form within modern societies. Reach out. To contact or try to help someone. Scientists reach out to policymakers to promote evidence-based decision-making. Mental health professionals encourage people to reach out for emotional support. She reached out to the professor for clarification on the assignment's requirements. Run down. To criticize or speak badly about someone. The newspaper article runs down the significant achievements of the new leader. The expert ran down the history of technological advancements in the last decade. Insufficient investment in infrastructure can run down public transportation services. Run into. Meet unexpectedly, experience trouble. They ran into a serious problem when attempting to implement the new system. I ran into several obstacles in my project which delayed the progress significantly. The researcher might run into issues when collecting data from such a large sample. Run out of. Exhaust a supply of something. I accidentally ran out of ink while printing important documents for the meeting. The students ran out of patience waiting for the final exam results to be released. She ran out of time to complete the assignment due to unforeseen circumstances. Roll out. Launch or introduce something new. The restaurant plans to roll out a seasonal menu featuring fresh local ingredients. The government will roll out new policies to address climate change in urban areas. The university will roll out an online course to increase access to education globally. Set up. Arrange or establish something. The organization is working to set up an outreach program for local communities. The school aims to set up a scholarship fund to support underprivileged students. They set up the equipment to ensure the conference runs smoothly and efficiently. Show up. Arrive at a place or event. The volunteer group failed to show up on time for the community service project. She made sure to show up early for the conference to network with professionals. It's essential to show up prepared for the interview to leave a positive impression. Sort out. Organize or resolve a problem. The university is trying to sort out accommodation issues for the incoming students. The team worked hard to sort out the technical issues before the final presentation. Sorting out the logistical problems early ensures smooth operations during the event. Stand by. Support someone or be ready. The researcher will stand by their findings, despite the criticism from some peers. The committee decided to stand by their choice of keynote speakers for the event. The team leader will stand by the plan, ensuring everything is executed as discussed. Stand out. Be noticeable or remarkable. A well-organized essay can help your argument stand out in an academic setting. The article's clear structure and depth of analysis made it stand out in the journal. The results of the groundbreaking experiment truly stand out in the field of genetics. Stick to. Continue doing something persistently. It's important to stick to the guidelines while writing your academic research paper. Students should stick to the thesis statement to ensure their argument is coherent. Researchers must stick to ethical guidelines to ensure the integrity of their findings. Sum up. Summarize or conclude. The speaker took a few minutes to sum up the discussion and conclude the event. Let's sum up the discussion by focusing on the key takeaways from today's session. To sum up, we must prioritize sustainable practices in future environmental policies. Take after. Resemble a family member. The student takes after her teacher in terms of dedication and attention to detail. I believe my daughter takes after me when it comes to enjoying outdoor activities. His determination and perseverance show that he definitely takes after his parents. Take off. Leave quickly, start flying. The new policy is expected to take off once it gains enough support from leaders. The project will take off as soon as we secure the necessary funding and resources. As the market conditions improve, more startups are expected to take off this year. Take over. Assume control or responsibility. The larger firm decided to take over the smaller company to increase its influence. The new manager will take over overseeing operations in the marketing department. A new management team will take over to address the issues faced by the company. Team up. Work together on something. The athletes will team up for the competition to increase their chances of success. We decided to team up for the research project, combining our individual strengths. The two companies decided to team up to develop a new technology for healthcare. Throw away. Discard or get rid of something. It is wasteful to throw away valuable information from previous academic studies. Make sure not to throw away relevant sources that could support your argument. It is a mistake to throw away ideas without considering their potential contributions. Turn down. Reject or lower the volume. We must turn down any research proposals that do not adhere to ethical standards. The committee had to turn down the proposal due to insufficient data supporting it. The council decided to turn down the proposal for a new shopping center in the area. Turn into. Transform into something else. This research could turn into a groundbreaking discovery in the field of chemistry. The experiment could turn into a significant breakthrough in the field of medicine. The small project turned into a large-scale initiative with international collaborations. Turn off. Stop a device or discourage interest. The faulty wiring caused the lights to turn off unexpectedly during the presentation. The power failure forced everyone to turn off their devices until the issue was fixed. The sudden change in tone during the discussion turned off many of the attendees. Turn on. Activate a device or excite someone. Before starting the presentation, make sure to turn on the projector and laptop. Artificial intelligence can instantly turn on specific functions based on user needs. Automated systems turn on security alarms when unusual activities are detected. Use up. Consume all of something. The resources have been used up, requiring us to come up with new strategies. The company quickly used up its financial reserves during the economic downturn. Overconsumption has caused humans to use up natural resources at alarming rates. Wake up. Stop sleeping or become alert. The new policy might wake up a lot of concerns among the community members. It's important to wake up refreshed and energized for optimal productivity at work. You should wake up with a positive mindset to help you overcome challenges easily. Watch out. Be careful of potential danger. Students must watch out for common errors when writing their research papers. Researchers should watch out for biases that could affect the results of the study. Watch out for incorrect data interpretation that can lead to inaccurate conclusions. Work out. Exercise or resolve a problem. The professor worked out a detailed plan for the student's final project assignment. It took several trials to work out the best methodology for the scientific experiment. Economists are trying to work out how inflation affects the global financial markets. Wrap up. Conclude or finish something. The teacher asked the students to wrap up the assignment by the end of the day. The seminar wrapped up with a discussion of the key takeaways from the session. At the end of the meeting, we will wrap up by reviewing the main points discussed. Write down. Record information in writing. It is important to write down all the sources you consult in your academic paper. Taking time to write down ideas helps in organizing academic research effectively. Successful authors often write down daily reflections to improve their writing skills.